Oh, yeah. What's happening, fellas? Hey, I'm a few minutes early. I had to switch my interface out because one of my animals broke it. So, excuse me. Just kind of setting things up. It's my first time back on in 7 weeks, right? Almost 8. Actually 8 if I think about it. 7 weeks since I had my surgery. So one of the things I'm worried about, this is my old SSL interface, is that the sound isn't going to work right. So I'm going to need your guys' help with that probably. Once we get started, like if the guitar is on one side and the voice is on the other, that kind of nonsense that was happening, which I went and bought a new interface because I thought it was this interface screwing it up, and it wasn't. It was StreamYard, but they did an update, and all of a sudden it works fine. So I'm hoping that's the case now. I've got my 58 Junior reissue here, which I think I'm going to sell. I'm just not in love with it. It's brand new. It's been played about 5 or 6 hours. I put the Music City Bridge on it, from Joe Glazer in Nashville. And Michael DeTemple upgraded the nut here with the fossilized mastodon ivory. It sounds great. I just don't know. I think, Peter was in town a couple weeks ago with his big old rock band, and he came over for the afternoon, and he had a guitar with him that I kind of, fell in love with and have problems not thinking about now, like OxyContin level addiction. Well, I see I got a lot of people on already. How's the sound out there, guys? Can you hear me okay? Is everything all right? Not seeing any comments, which usually worries me. Makes me think the sound isn't working. So, here you is it oh, Facebook's not working. Oh, God damn it. No guitar. All right, here we go. Let's try this again. TJ, you hear me, but there's no guitar. Is that right? Let's see. What about now? Is this any better? Not getting the amp. Okay, shit. This is what happened with this SSL interface before. It's too bad. And then Facebook's not connecting for some reason. That is correct. Anything different now? Let me get into the... guitar sounds great acoustically. Thanks, Lee. Good to see you. I liked your post this morning, by the way. Let's see. Yeah, there's not much else to do here on this interface. There's nothing there. Son of a gun. Yeah, I don't know what... boy. Yeah, I had my Apogee duet sitting here on my desk, and a cat went ripping through here, snagged its legs in the cables, slam the thing on the ground, and now the big jack won't work. Well, if we don't have guitar, we don't have guitar. And then Facebook's not posting. All right, I hear you. Weak distorted guitar, and that's probably you're just hearing the headphones. That's a shame because it sounds great in here. Fuck. Oh, this is so annoying. You know, the Apogee kind of had it fixed. And I came in today and it was on the ground with the cable broken out of it. So I'm going to take it over there and get it fixed. Oswald Bates says, I blame the Dutch for this. Yeah, those wooden shoe wearing, windmill looking people. Well, anyway, trust me, this guitar sounds great. I'm going to sell it and my Gretsch, my 67 Gretsch, excuse me. And I'm open to really any decent offer and even creative financing if we need to do it. Had some unfortunate financial surprises and need to sell a couple things. But anyway, so Peter came over. Let's just talk. We'll get caught up. I've been out for 7 weeks. Let's start there. I had a detached retina in this eye. And if you remember, almost a year ago to the day, I had a detached retina in this eye. That's why I was off last year for a couple months. And then I caught a cold. Yay. So, I'll tell you in a second, Haas. I know I kind of teased you with that, didn't I? Anyway, so bad genes, bad luck. I don't know what the deal is. I had to have another surgery in this eye. And there's still a gas bubble in there. You can see I look a little dopey in this eye. I have a nitrous oxide bubble that's about from here down. So my field of vision's kind of messed up, and my, put this up. Anyway, this guitar, please buy it. It's a hell of a deal. It's brand new. I've got about 5 hours on it. And I upgraded the hell out of it. And it's a really nice guitar. But I'm just not in love with it. Anyway, so I'm telling 2 stories at once. Let's start with the health. So I had a retina surgery 7 weeks and 2 days ago. Who's counting, right? No, 6 weeks. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, I had this nitrous oxide bubble in my eye. It's like a cast, you know, it holds your eye where it's supposed to be. And in a perfectly round shape inside of there. So what I end up with is really youthful, crazy good vision. It's great. And so everything I can see above here is beautiful. Everything underneath here, it looks like I'm looking through a glass of water. So it messes up my depth perception quite a bit. And 7 weeks without a haircut, I look full shut in now. Probably put on 10, 12 pounds as well, sitting around doing nothing because I was very restricted on my activities. So you probably heard about retina surgery. When you first get it, you have to lay face down or only on your right side. And this one, I only had to do that for 5 days. Last time it was a couple weeks. And then for a month, I could only lay on my right side. But I could get up and do things. The first couple of weeks I was limited. I could only get up for about 5 or 10 minutes an hour. I had to hold perfectly still. Can't lay on my back. That's a big no-no, apparently. So the good news is, I'll cut to the chase, it went really well. Every subsequent appointment I've had with my doctors, one doctor, who's great. His name is technically spelled E-S-M-A-I-L-I as Smiley, but everybody calls him Dr. Smiley. And so Dr. Smiley took really good care of me, and he did the surgery, and it turned out great. So I've had 3 follow-ups so far. Each one has been laced with language like ideal, perfect, beautiful. Oh, thanks, Hoss. I got the old man beard going on. My beard used to be blonde, and then it was red, and then now it's Kenny Rogers. So anyway, I'm going to be fine. That's the good news. I can't drive a car yet. Thanks, Trig. Yeah. My doctor has said that many times. Trig is Knudsen here saying he works in a hospital and he meets people who've had the same problem. Luckily, they're really good at fixing that nowadays. Yeah, my doctor says many times, thank God it's 2026 and you're in Los Angeles. If this would have happened 10 years ago, you would have been in the hospital for 8 weeks, laying down on one of those beds that has a hole in it, where you couldn't move, and we'd have to strap you in the bed, to protect your eye. I'm in the same beard boat. Right on, Rob. You're a man of style, taste, and elegance. So anyway, the good news is I'm going to be fine. You can almost see the reflection of the bubble in my eye with these lights if you look here closely. It's a weird thing. It's a very weird thing looking through a gas bubble. But it's going down. It dissipates over time. Hey, Putta. That's my cousin, Patricia. I had another retina surgery on my eye 7 weeks ago. And I'm fine. But I still have a gas bubble in this eye, and I can't drive or do anything like that. So it went really well. Modern laser stuff means that your recovery time is really fast. They don't even, there's no scalpel or anything, but they cut your eye open. And, thanks, Putta. I'm fine. And I'll be able to see you even clearer next time we see each other. It'll be good. So I have a little bit of a cold, too. So if I have some really nasty sounding coughing or something going on here, it's okay. So anyway, that's where I've been for 7 or 8 weeks. I guess 8 weeks from doing my show. And thanks, sweetie. But the good news is everything's going to be all right. But because of that, I haven't been working or anything. So I got a couple guitars I need to sell. If anybody wants to hook a brother up, I've got that Junior that I was just playing, and sadly you can't hear it because it sounds killer. I have no idea what the frick is going on here. Would people agree that you could drive before the surgery? Yeah, Oswald, I'm actually a pretty good driver. I'm a pretty accomplished driver. I actually manage a vintage car collection for a guy, that kind of thing. But yeah, good question. That's a very good question. I like that. Anyway, so I'm just getting back. I've had so many notes from people going, hey, where are you? Are you okay? What's happening? So I thought I'd come on and just talk. And then when I came to plug my show in, my cat had destroyed my Apogee interface. Hey, Joan, how are you, sweetie? Another cousin. I got lots of cousins. Hey, Joan, you're on here with Patricia Wilhelmy. Like when you met, these are the Wilhelmys, and Patricia Joan is a Kunkelman from Missouri, your cousins. You have never met each other. He knows how to engine brake in manual and automatic. Yeah, that's right. I know how to double clutch and slow down on the box. Haas, you're correct. Anyway, yeah, I'm fine. So that's I'm introducing cousins that don't know each other here. This is how many cousins I have. You guys should get to know each other. So the Wilhelmys and the Kunkelmans both have 9 kids and very similar stuff. Patricia is known as Putta in our family, and she is the daughter of my dad's older sister, Janie. And Joan is the daughter of my dad's first cousin, Paul. So here you go. This is Missouri stuff, guys. Sorry. But anyway, so I'm going to be fine. I'm going to have this youthful, like right now, even what I can see over the top, it's only from here up, the colors are really rich and everything's crystal clear. And so I'm going to have youthful, thanks, Hoss. You're a sweet dude. I appreciate it. Yeah, we should be tipping a pint right now and talking about it. But I'm going to be fine. I'm going to have this youthful vision for the rest of my life. I'm always going to need readers. But my distance vision, anything from about this far out, is perfect. Like crazy good. I haven't been this good since I was maybe 18 years old. So, I had this eye done last year and then this eye done this year. So I'm Steve Austin, and you got to be of a certain age to know what that means. But yes, I'm the $6 million man. Adjusted for inflation, it's $200,000. So anyway, back to the guitar story, Hoss. So I love this guitar. Peter came by. He's got that rock band with Tom Hamilton from Aerosmith and Tony Brock from the Babies, and they played at the Whiskey A Go Go. And it was really cool. Nitrous is no laughing matter. Ba-doom-cha. Yeah, I didn't get any in my lungs, unfortunately. And they were killing. They were so good. It was at the Whiskey, the mecca of rock and roll. And they were so good. But Peter came over checking on me because he was worried about me because he's my brother. And he brought over a gig back with a couple of guitars in it. One was a white 64 SG Junior. And man, it just rang like a bell. I got the hiccups. It just rang like a bell. It was so cool, and I fell in love with it. And then their gig is old school rock and roll, right? They're using 100-watt non-master volume Marshalls. Like, it's man rock. It was so good, man. I got to tell you, I was out here in the 80s. I didn't play at the Whiskey. I went to the Whiskey a lot. I played at more of the B-level clubs on the Strip, like the Central and the Coconut Teaser and places like that. But all the doormen at the clubs kind of knew all the musicians, because they were also cruising around the different clubs. And that's right, Hoss, high def vision for sure. So I could always go to the Whiskey, and back then, beers were $4 or $5, which in a lot of places beers are still $4, but beers in LA now are $15. So back then it was, if I had $20, you could go out, have a few beers, and listen to some rock bands. It was great. Did that quite a bit in the 80s. So I was having a major flashback sitting in the Whiskey A Go Go. It was really cool. It still smells like putrid ass in there, rotten beer and other assorted things. But they've cleaned it up. It looks like a tourist place now. There's framed artwork on the wall, and it's been painted, and it's really nice, but it still has that smell. If you've ever been to the Whiskey, especially back in the 80s when everyone was smoking cigarettes back then, and everybody was using Aquanet hairspray to get the big poofy hair, and it had a smell. And there was no air conditioning back then, so at the Whiskey. They just opened the doors and had fans blowing. So it was a room full of sweaty young people who were high and drunk and smoking cigarettes. And there's a certain smell to that. Mike Leaptrop gets it. Ooh, that smell. Yeah, and there's other things going on in there that had odors. So it was kind of weird for a minute. I'm watching Peter play, and he's so happy, Like he's been playing with Cheryl for almost 30 years, 28 years, I think. And that's his job. That's really not who he is as a guitar player. He's kind of a shredding rock and roll guy. And if you haven't heard, his band's called Close Enemies, by the way. I'll type it in here. You guys should go. They're on iTunes. They've got 5 singles out. They have a deal on Virgin Records. They're called Close Enemies, and it's really good sort of... It didn't post to Facebook. Boy, something's wrong. Boy, it's nice. Anyway, Close Enemies. Yeah, weird. I'm getting errors from Facebook. Failed to post to Facebook. Here's what Facebook said. Temporary oh, I see. Okay. Anyway, I got a problem with my Facebook account. So it was great. I'm watching Peter just play rock and roll, and it was the real thing, and it sounded great. And I'm at the Whiskey A Go Go, and it's loud. And 100-watt Marshalls with no master volumes and old vintage guitars. Trace Foster, the other guy, was playing a vintage Les Paul Custom. And Peter's playing the 64 SG Junior, P90s through 100-watt. Oh, my God. I was in absolute heaven. It was sort of like, for a second, I was like, oh, I had this 40-year dream that I was like straight and had a mortgage and drove a normal car and I wasn't a rock and roller anymore. I woke up and here I am in the whiskey. But it was so good, and that guitar sounded so good, so I kind of decided then that, yeah, I get a little sore looking at this stuff. I haven't been able to look at screens for this whole time, so I might have to cut this short. It's getting a little sore. It's kind of weird because this image is all messed up because of the bubble, and my brain's constantly trying to reconcile these two images, and sometimes it gets a little uncomfortable. I'm sorry. So anyway, I just kind of decided, like, that's what I need to do. That's what I need to go back to. And I don't know if you guys remember, the recession was really hard on me and everybody. But I'd sell a lot of guitars. And a couple of them were juniors. I had a 63 Junior, Les Paul Junior. Looked like an SG, but it said Les Paul on the headstock. And it sounded stupid. And I had a 59 Junior that also was just ridiculous. Now, this guitar is a great guitar. This is Custom Shop's finest, and it's really well made. And I had Michael DeTemple really do the best he could do on it and made it a lot better. But it's just not the same thing. So I need to take this money and put it towards kind of getting what I need, I think. So if that makes sense, and if anybody needs a guitar, like I said, it's a $4,000 guitar brand new. I didn't pay that for it. I get the deal, Hey, what's up, Brian? Good to see you too, man. I wish we were here in person. I get the industry accommodation on these guitars and everything, so I can cut you a good deal on it. If I start talking about numbers here on the show, the algorithm figures out that I'm selling stuff and wants to somehow charge me tax. But basically about 25% off of list price, and it has the Joe Glazer, Music City Bridge on it that Tom Bukovac designed. And then Michael DeTemple put on his fossilized Mastodon ivory nut. So it makes a huge difference. And then he also resurfaced the frets. Michael does Rain Man level fret work. I've never seen anything like it. And he really, really improves any guitar. And so this guitar plays like absolute perfectly. It's got 10s on it, feels like 9s. And the action's really low, not dirt low, but low and easy to play. And rings, it has sustain like crazy. You could hear it acoustically over the microphone. That just rings. So that makes any pickup sound good. So anyway, if anybody's interested in that. And then I have that 67 Gretsch 6120, the John Lennon orange one. And I need to sell them both so I can pursue my guitar nirvana. Actually, I got some bills to pay too. But anyway, so that's the news from the front, man. I wish I had something great to tell you. Of course, I haven't made any progress on making amps and stuff. I have worked on my software idea a little bit, and I filed a couple provisional patents. And I can tell you about that once I get confirmation that I have the patents. But anyway, yeah, and 7 weeks without a haircut, man, look at me. I'm just like, woo. I got a mop, dude. It's a lot of hair. I need to go get a trim, but I can't drive. And my wife works a lot. And so it's hard, man. Oh, well, I appreciate that, Hoss. Thank you, buddy. You're very kind. It's nice to see you, literally and figuratively. My eye is a little still cockeyed. When this bubble is gone, it'll kind of orient better. I got a little Marty Feldman action going on. It's actually way better than it used to be. For a while, it was completely like crazy looking. Until about a week and a half ago. I woke up one morning and went, hey, like my eye's kind of close. I used to see double, like hardcore double, not even like marginal double, like two completely different images. And one of them, of course, was smeared with Vaseline. That does weird things to your brain. Gotta tell you. Damn your eyes, Igor. Exactly. That's right. And I love Marty Feldman. That's not a derogatory thing, but I definitely had some Marty Feldman action going on. A lot of it. And I don't know why this isn't working. I'm so bummed out. The guitar sounds great. Yeah, this is the prototype. So here's what is actually happening. So I have hooked up with a contract manufacturer who I think is going to make my stuff. And originally I wasn't going to bring back any of the legacy amps, but I could just, there's a couple of them that I think I could always keep in the repertoire and it would sell. One is Little Elvis. And I'm curious what you guys think about that. I want to bring back the Stone Pony safely, the Safe Stone Pony, and the Little Elvis. Are there any other amps that you think would be, they're going to be printed circuit board models, which it doesn't matter anymore. Like, printed circuit board design has come along so well. It's actually kind of better. They're quieter, and they're more reliable. Same exact components, just on a PCB. And the way they've come up, with the modern software for designing printed circuit boards is, a lot of it's AI driven, and they can make just dead quiet. Marquee, yeah, I know. I don't know how many of those I'd sell. I love the Marquee though. That's really definitely the one that got away for sure. That's one of my favorite amps we ever made. But, that'd be a good one to do the high current, low voltage with. Because as it sat, it was over 40 watts. It was about 40 watts. Louder than hell. And then we could switch two tubes off, but that's not the most elegant way to drop volume, right? It's a pretty blunt way to do it. So with this kind of setup that I have on this amp, I could actually make that where it's a 30 watt amp and a 10 or 12 watt amp and then a 3 watt amp. That's not a bad idea. That's a really good sounding amp. Really good sounding amp. So anyway, I have a contract manufacturer who I'm hoping to get to NAMM on Saturday. I'm hoping this gas bubble goes down a little bit by then, otherwise I can't make it. But I think we're going, Rob Price says that's his favorite amp. Oh man. Yeah, it's a good one. I'm just worried about how many I'd sell. It has to be viable. So as we were going through the financing stuff last year, 2025, when we first started, whoops, dropping crap everywhere, which is what I still do with my bad vision. I bump into shit all the time and trip over things. Anyway, so by March of last year, we had verbal commitments for over $900,000 in oh, right. You had time with the hand-wired whiskey. Great. Oh, send us a clip. Post a clip on the fans page. Anyway, so we had come up with about $900,000 in verbal commitments. And it was basically, the conversation was, we love your business plan. We like you. You seem like you're not full of shit and idiot, all that stuff. So let's start working out, details. Let's start and get together, forecasts and all that kind of stuff. The Ventura did so well. Yeah, the big dealers want to have it back. Little Elvis was the one, and the London. I couldn't make enough of those. The London could use an update, maybe. So anyway, let me get back to my story. Sorry, I'm all over the place. I apologize. So, and then if you remember last year in March, the tariffs came. And that spooked the hell out of everybody. And so literally I was in meetings with people where they're looking at their phone going, do you guys do any business overseas? I'm like, yeah, I have to. There's some things that aren't made in the U.S. anymore. Well, there's now a 50% tariff on Chinese goods, and some people are saying it's going to go to 150, and why don't we just put a pin in this for a couple of months and come back? And I'm like, couple of months? Oh, shit. So anyway, the conversation has now shifted from, we like your business plan, we want to do all this stuff. However, we would like to see you get up and running. Get up and running and get a few dealers back online, and then we're in. So that leaves me high and dry for seed money. So I've been talking to a few people about just doing a little bit of seed round of money, and I think I'm pretty close. And one of the things that's going to tip this off is that if you just need me to get back up and get dealers going, I have about 20 dealers that have said verbally, if you're making amps, I'm buying. Just show me what you got, and we'll buy a few of them. So I was thinking I could, in theory, go to this contract manufacturer, make like 40 or 50 little Elvises and Stone Ponies. Load up, get all my dealer network back in place. That's just in the U.S. I mean, I have dealers in Europe and everything that are in. So I can get up and running, get the name back out, sell a few amps. I don't think that style of amps is a big business anymore. I mean, it's okay, it's cool, but it's not what it used to be, right? And sorry, I'm missing something here. But it will meet the needs of venture capital people who are scared of the tariffs. And this tariff thing, I know for you Europeans that are on here, I want to distance myself from, I don't like to talk politics, so I'm not going to. But I want to distance myself from the craziness that's going on right now. 90% of Americans are not cool with that. Just so you know, we're all very worried, as I'm sure you are too. And it's fair enough. You should be worried. Anyway, so I need to figure out how to sell into Europe now. And I know a lot of Europeans don't want to do business with the United States anymore. So got to be careful here about doing that. I don't think this craziness is going to last that long, to be honest with you. It's not sustainable. So that doesn't make you feel any better, but it's true. Anyway, so I'm thinking, yeah, that's right, Haas. You're right. Jimmy Kimmel's on. I don't want to talk politics because it's just so ugly and depressing right now. We're all just horrified over here, and yeah. Well, anyway, so Randy, what I'm talking about is getting back up and running. I hooked up with a contract manufacturer that Scotty Bratcher actually introduced me to. Scotty's not here today, but thank you, Scotty Bratcher. And consequently, I've got a lot of really good references of him from other people in our business. So we've been talking on the phone quite a bit. He's in town to do NAMM this weekend. And I'm not sure I can get there. I have passes. Anybody in the Valley going to NAMM on Saturday or want to go to NAMM on Saturday, I can probably get you a pass if you drive me down, if you give me a ride. Anyone in LA want to go to NAMM for free, I'll hook you up. So anyway, that's one of the things I'm thinking about. And then this amp is ready to go. Needs a few little tweaks, nothing crazy. Got to source parts, build a bill of materials, which takes time. That's not easy. I can't do that in a day, but it's doable. We're not into crazy stuff anymore. So anyway, we're this close. Hey, Charles, all the best from the United States, what's left of it. I hope things are beautiful and lovely in Switzerland. Nice to see you. Charles and I went to music school together 40 years ago. 40 years ago this year, Charles and I went to GIT together. And he was a great guitar player then. I'm sure he still is now. So anyway, we're there. It's going to roll. And then the little bitty amp is moving along as well. So I haven't been able to do much because I've been laid up for almost 2 months. But anyway, I think this has been quite a bonus, hooking up with this guy. And we're going to make it work, I think. I feel really good about it. So I'm talking to a few people right now about a seed round of money because I just need to get a shop. Not even a big shop. I just need a little shop where I can make some noise instead of being here in my home office where I can't make noise. And yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. I feel really good about it. Do I wish it would have happened already? Totally. Absolutely. But it's get this camera in a little better position. But it's going to happen. It's been frustrating. Let's talk. Well, Lee, I'd always love to talk to you. If you have any ideas, and I know you're a smart guy full of good ideas, you have my phone number. Call me after the show's over if you want. I can't drive, so otherwise I'd say let's meet somewhere and have a cup. And your drive to me is too long. That's an hour drive. I don't want you doing that unless it's necessary. But I'm always happy to see you. Always happy to talk to you, of course. So anyway, the seed round of money, in theory, will get me out of the starting gate, and then the larger investors will feel free to come in. So in order to do this, the whole process, to get some production going and get the dealers all set up and be shipping amps in boxes and ready to go is probably about minimum 3 to 4 month, kind of proposition. And I have to pay a couple of people. I need to recoup a little bit of money because I've gone way into debt over this year thinking we're right there. I've spent a lot of money that I should not have spent on faith and optimism. So that's a whole other thing. Jerry White says, I have a London and a HP Soho, both fantastic amps, Dan, so good as anything else. But there, good luck. Thank you, man. Well, we're getting there. So I still get requests for Little Elvis. Literally, like I have dealers that write me and go, hey, I know you're not really making amps anymore. Any way you could make me a Little Elvis? I have a lot of people interested in that. So we made that amp in 2010. So I think I could improve it a little bit even more. And printed circuit board will make it a little more reasonable price. One of the things that I've noticed, which is why a lot of hand-wired amp companies aren't doing it much anymore, is that the cost of making an amp has pretty much doubled since I did it. We did a license deal at the end of 2012, so it commenced on 2013. So that was 13 years ago right now. And the cost of making an amplifier has almost doubled since then. There's COVID and there's tariffs. Board components aren't that expensive, but, when they all go up by 50%, it adds up. And then forget about transformers. The wood we all use, Baltic birch, guess where it comes from? Even getting affordable transformers from overseas now are not that affordable because of the tariffs. So that's neat. But anyway, we're going to make it work. We're going to get through it. And I have a feeling a lot of this stuff is going to melt away this year. Talking to a lot of smart people that are government adjacent and work in the stock market and stuff like that, their common wisdom says that this is unsustainable. That the tariff situation, the pissing off of all of our allies, the busting up of NATO, all that kind of stuff is not sustainable, and it will change. How's that going to happen? I certainly hope it's peacefully, but I think by the end of this year it's going to be a different world. Fingers crossed. And that's for all Americans, we're fingers crossed, and for all of our European brothers and sisters. No one here wants to bust up NATO. No one. Maybe 2% of people who have lost their minds want to do that. No one I've ever heard of. I'm a political science major. Like, I've read about this stuff. I stay in touch with this stuff. I still get the American Journal of Political Science on subscription and a few other real magazines. I don't watch cable news for my news. I actually read stuff. I have things like the New Republic and the Atlantic and they're online subscriptions now, but New York Times, Wall Street Journal. I read real news. and it's not sensational like CNN and Fox and MSNBC, etc. It's actually just pretty factual and useful. No one thinks this is going to work. No one thinks it's going to stay. So I know there's a lot of money to be made selling ads on newscasts. So take that with a grain of salt when you're watching this hyperbolic news cycle that we're in right now, where both sides, and I'm in the middle, I don't have a side. Because I'm a political science guy, you learn that both sides are full of shit. But when you watch this crazy news cycle and go, oh my God, these people are trying to destroy the planet. No, you're trying to destroy the planet. No, you're trying to destroy the world. No, you're trying to destroy the world. None of that's true. We all know that the president does crazy stuff. We don't need to wring our hands about it. We all know he's having some sort of mental, I don't know what's going on, but he seems to clearly be struggling. So we all know that. You don't need to point it out all the time because we all see it. It's not going to change anything. So what will change, though, are business people. Oh, yeah, sure. Anya, sound works. Yeah, I'll get to you in just a moment. Absolutely. This is on YouTube. For the people on Facebook, there's comments here on the YouTube channels also. So, anyway, we are restarting. I think I have a better plan now. If you guys have any thoughts, especially Lee, I always love talking to you, man. So give me a call here when we're done. So, anyway, Anya at Soundworks says, hi, Dan. Just catching the live show. Missed the beginning. Do I understand right that you're restarting 65 amps with some new models? Can you please do a quick summary and bring latecomers up to speed? Absolutely, Anya. Excuse me. I'm getting over a cold. I apologize. That probably sounds great on the microphone. My apologies. You see the movement back here is one of our border collies. My wife and I rescue border collies. Darla, is that you in the window? Come here. A little crazy dog. Anyway, yeah, we're restarting 65 amps. I have some new models. Oh, Jerry, that's never going to happen. That's just crazy as crap. We are doing some new models. One of them's right here is a prototype. I've been kind of rethinking about how to deal with electricity on modern tubes. These are high current, low voltage setups. So you get the sound and the feel of a big, powerful amp only at a reasonable volume. It's not just quieter, right? It actually still feels like a real amp. And I have about 4 or 5 of those that I want to do. Also working on another amp that uses little tiny tubes that I can't tell you about yet, but you're going to love it. And then lastly, I'm working on a software piece. From all I learned working for Line 6 and Roland. I learned a lot working for those guys. So, yeah, we got a lot going on. Probably won't be any, hopefully there'll be stuff for sale this summer. Where are you, where is Soundworks? Is it Anya or Arna? I can't see. I'm sorry, my eyes are messed up. Jerry White says the last we heard in the UK, it's so embarrassing to even have to answer this question. Canada's going to become the 51st. No, it's not. No one here wants that. I mean, no one here wants that. I'm 60 years old. I'm a political science guy. I have a very political family. I have never heard anything like that. I've never heard any American say that, hint at that, suggest that, intimate that. I don't know where that came from. It's just the craziest thing. So if you have friends and family in Canada, I do. Please convey to them there's nothing to worry about. That's not going to happen. We can't take over another country legally. And Canada is a member of NATO. So if we set one foot in Canada, in theory, the entirety of NATO will come and shut us down. It's just crazy talk. I think it's diversionary stuff to distract from other stuff. So, yeah, don't worry about that. You're in France. Oh, okay, good. Been wanting to try one of your amps for a long time. All right, Anya. Well, stay in touch. I do this web show on Thursdays, and I give a lot of updates. I will be playing the amps here. My interface is maybe in limbo right now. I got to figure out how to make this work. I don't know why it's not working. I'm getting signal, but it's not getting to you. My other interface just got accidentally trashed by my cat. It's a $450 cat mistake. So, anyway, yeah, got a lot to do. And I've been recovering from surgery for 2 months. I had a detached retina in this eye. And I still have a gas bubble in there, so it's a little weird. If I look a little funny, if I look a little junky, that's why. But where are you in France, Anya? I would love to sell you some amplifiers. I'd love to let you try some and see what you think. France was a good market for us before with the previous iteration of the company. And I look for any excuse to go to France if you'd like me to come over and do a clinic and share the products with you. I'd be happy to. So, anyway. Oh, and Brittany. Oh, yeah. Okay. Excellent. Yeah. So if I go to London, I can just come over and see you. I can hop on the Channel train and, yeah, I know Brittany. Believe it or not, you know how I know Brittany? I used to breed Brittany Spaniels. So I'm very familiar with. You're part of France. My dad and I used to breed dogs that come from there. What are they called? Espagnol Breton in French. Yeah, Brittany's beautiful. I'm recovering very well, Charles. Thank you. It's a slow process with your eyes. Nothing happens quickly. And right now it's kind of uncomfortable, pardon me. Yeah, it's going really well. It's just slow. It's an 8-week recovery. I'm 7 weeks in, and the gas bubble is still like up to here. So everything underneath here is like looking through a glass of water. Oh, you're a dog person too. Perfect. Yeah, I would love to go to France. So it's easy to get to Britain from London, and I have dealers in London that want to buy our stuff as well. So I mean, we should make a trip out of it. I know because I can get on the train in Victoria and be at Calais in 30, 40 minutes or something like that. It's crazy. And then I can just rent a car and come to you. That would be fun. That would be very fun. I have funny stories. I used to live in London, and when I had a car, this is before the channel was finished, you had to take the ferry over. And the ferry took hours to get across. And I had this little Vauxhall lorry, and it had the GB sticker on it, and it was right-hand drive, right? So I'm trying to make it work in France. And my favorite thing was, if you guys have not been to France, French people are absolutely... Hey, Tom Fox, how are you, buddy? Greetings from Australia, he says. Well, greetings to Australia from Los Angeles. If you've never been to France, French people have a hilarious sense of humor. Hilarious sense of humor. And so when I was there, I was driving this little truck that had a GB sticker on it, Great Britain, and French people would yell at me, "Go home, roast beef," which I thought was the funniest shit I'd ever heard as an American. And I go, no, I'm an American. I'm not British. And they go, "Oh, no problem. Fuck you, G.I. Joe." It was so funny. And they're just kidding. You know, it was all just humor. I used to go to Calais, excuse me. The British put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. I'd go to Calais, for the weekend because it was fun. And you can get this, great wine over there and have a good time, and it really wasn't a bad one. And the French people, I have a French last name, and I can be polite in French. I can't speak French, but I know how to be polite in French. And I know how to ask people in French if they speak any English because my French is shit. And they always go, "Oh, yeah, I took 8 years in school. What do you need?" But if you just walk up and go, "Hey, do you speak English?" they just go, "Quoi? What are you talking about?" Um, Thanks, Charles. Charles says 65 amps had a good image in Europe with famous players using your amps. Thank you. We worked hard. The previous iteration of the company was good, and I had a really excellent crew. Some of them are coming back. So anyway, I would love to go back to France, and I'm a friendly, polite guest in France everywhere I go. Actually, no matter what country I go to, I learn how to be polite and civil in the local parlance and the local etiquette. And I had a great time in France. I loved it. When I lived in London, I probably went over there 8 or 9 times, and I could live there, honestly. And if things get crazy here, maybe I'll start a company in France. Charles Freeborn says, my dad was born in Dinard, Brittany, and I have a brother in central France. Great country. It is a great country. Rob Price says, I took the ferry from Portsmouth to St. Malo. Not fun in bad weather. Oh, man, I'm sorry. Yeah, France is fantastic. The thing that I think rubs Americans wrong about France, it doesn't rub me wrong. I had a great time there. The whole time growing up, especially growing up in Missouri. Thank you, Anya. I appreciate. I know everyone I've met in France has been amazingly hospitable and friendly and nice, and thank you very much. But growing up in the middle of the country, I was flooded with these bad stereotypes of every European country being rude to Americans. And I know when I lived over there, I kind of understood where that stereotype comes from, because every country I went to, there's Americans yelling English at people who don't understand English or don't understand your accent. They maybe understand British English. But when you go over there with a Southern accent or a regional American accent, they don't understand you. So even when I moved to England, I couldn't understand some of those dialects over there. I'm an English speaker, when you listen, even in like London, like East London guys, it took me a while to get used to that. Charles, yeah, I have relatives from Alsace. That's right. Yeah, the name Boule these people come from Alsace-Lorraine. And I am German too. Yeah, mostly German. Actually, when I got my DNA test, there's hardly any French DNA in there. German. Noel Kenobi. Oh, you're here in LA. Well, I'll hook you up with Mike. Yeah, what's wrong with your Stone Pony? No problem. Just message me on Facebook. And I'm on Facebook as Dan Boole or through 65 amps, whatever you want to do. And we'll take care of you. Got you covered. Don't worry. Anyway, so every time I've been to France, this is my impression of France. Everything tastes good. Everything looks good. The people, if you are polite, the people are really polite, really nice, very hospitable, very welcoming. When you go to Paris, it's like going to New York. They're a little rougher than the rest of the country. Here I got an old cat screaming in here. Have you ever had a cat with dementia? We have a cat with dementia. He sees ghosts and starts howling. But anyway, my impression of France has always been good. So when I went over there, growing up in central Missouri, I'd always heard French people are rude to Americans. I did not experience that at all. Matter of fact, I had the opposite. One of the very first times I went to France, I rented a car in Barcelona, Spain. I was going to drive around the Riviera. We're going to drive all the way to Italy. And my car broke down outside of Nîmes, France. And I called the rental car company, and the guy who ran the local rent-a-car budget or whatever it was eating dinner with his family, quit eating dinner, came and got me, took me back to his house where his wife gave me dinner while we called a tow truck. And it was before cell phones, right? And got the car replaced, and he fed me and wouldn't accept any money. Nicest people I've ever met in my life. And me trying to get along, I took French in high school, so le singe ici la branche, like just stupid, dumb things you never say. It's that Eddie Izzard routine, right? Avez-vous une chambre? Yeah, bien sûr, nous sommes hotel. Like, do you have a room? Of course, we're a hotel. That kind of French. Um, but I did great. Jerry White correctly says, even if some English can't understand some English dialects, every 15 miles it seems to change. That's right. So I drove a truck in London delivering food every day. And I picked my food up in East London, and I drove up through Tottenham Court Road, kind of a posh theater district kind of thing, and then over through the Fashion District, and then I lived in Fulham, which is like Hammersmith, Chelsea kind of thing. Those areas all had distinctly different accents, especially when I was delivering food, up in the theater and fashion districts. Those are people from all over Britain and all over the world, really. And there were many times where I'm like, I'm sorry, what? And they laughed at me. Don't you speak English, mate? And I go, I do. Or more correctly, I talk American. So it took me a while, but after a while I got it. It was no problem. But for the first few months, I was constantly, are you from Australia? Like, what is that accent? And then, like, when I went to Scotland and Ireland and stuff, oh my God, the accents are so good. Even like Hoss Thompson here, who's from the north of England, what a great accent. Oh my God, I love the north. And I know there's this animosity between the north and the south in Britain. I don't understand why, but probably going back for centuries of mistreatment. But lovely accent. But it did take me a minute to get used to it. And there's a lot of slang and there's a lot of jargon, just like here. Like if you go to Louisiana, man, it sounds totally different than Michigan. And if you go to New York, it sounds completely different than Oklahoma or Florida or Chicago or, out here in California. Hey, dude, what's happening? The David Lee Roth California accent. What's the matter, man? You got school in the morning? That kind of thing. Versus, Chicago or Boston. Who can understand Boston? When you come from Britain. Down by the harbor, I got you a wicked piss of, Anyway, you get the point. So anyway, 65 amps is going. I get excited talking about Europe. I miss it so much. 65 amps is going. I plan on trying to get actually gas in the motor soon, like within weeks. And I will keep you in the loop, and I will be showing you all the products here, and we should be good to go. So Lee Turner, I'm going to sign off here in a minute. If you're still there, why don't you give me a call shortly after 1 o'clock. I'm always open to your conversation and ideas. You guys have any other questions before I get out of here? I'll come back hopefully next week with a little better eye. Noel says, I was playing the amp for a few hours at decent volume and it started hissing loudly. Then smoke came out of it, so I shut it down immediately. Fuses were okay. Oh, that's a grid resistor probably. It's probably just a grid resistor. No problem. $2 part. Smoke is not a good thing. You might have had a tube that was like the grid on your power tubes failed and the grid resistor got hot. That's okay. We can replace all that stuff. It's not a big deal. There's nothing that can go wrong with an amp that is terminal or fatal. Don't worry. Especially our stuff. It's built really well. I love the Stone Pony, though, man. That's one of my favorite amps we ever made. We had to quit making it because the tube supply got weird on the 7591s. But that's one I want to bring back in a safe version, kind of like this. It's a great 7 amp. It really is. So anyway, when's that producer giveaway raffle? Yeah, you can buy a ticket for $1,000. And once I get 20 tickets sold, I'll give away an amp. Thank you, Anya. I look forward to speaking more. Do you have a store in Brittany that I could look up that you could share here with us? Do you have a music store? Sorry if I have a cold, if my American accent is a little weird, if you're not used to me speaking. Thank you, Kim. Thank you. I appreciate that. My amps love you, too. Oh, Charles, I missed your comment. In my corporate career, I've always been afraid of having meetings with real English people because I cannot get their accent. I learned U.S. English with you guys. Yeah, it's really different. It's really different. Even Americans, we have to be careful. And we always change our accent when we're around English people so we don't sound like hicks. But even when I go home to Missouri, that's a whole nother dialect that I'm, of course, comfortable with. But if I were to, I tell you what it sounds like. Did you guys ever see Inglourious Bastards, the World War II movie with Brad Pitt's character? And that is the Missouri dialect. He's supposed to be from Tennessee, but he's not. That accent is the Missouri dialect. You know, I'm going to give you what fire up there around there with your mom or Nim. That kind of stuff. Thank you, Treve. I appreciate it, man. I think we're rolling finally. Having this health problem was an unwanted delay, but I think we're going to get there. Anyway, Lee, it looks like maybe you signed off. I don't know. I'll give you a call. Anyway, good to see you, Howard. I'm glad you came by. You need to come by and pick me up. I can't drive yet. Lonnie Spector, hey buddy, Lonnie Spector, who runs the LA Amp Show and Pedal Show. Nice to see you, Lonnie. I appreciate it. I'd love to see you in person sometime soon. Kim Eakin asks, how many Apollo amps did you make? I have one, and I've never encountered another one. Just curious. We really just made them for pros. I think maybe I made 30 of them. Maybe. And most of them are sitting in recording studios. It started out with Greg Wells, you know, the producer Greg Wells. He had a couple of B-15s that were always misbehaving, and he just kind of jokingly said, hey, if you can make me a B-15 that works and can work with modern basses, like active basses, I'll buy it. So we did it, and he liked it, and then everybody heard about it. I started getting every studio in town said, we'd like to buy one of those just for our stock. And so I sold them to kind of most of the studios here in LA, which would be about 15, probably. And I sold some in the studios in New York, sold some in London. Robert Plant's bass player, Byron House, was using one on the road. He sold a few for me. It's a small market, though. You know, for a 50-watt tube amp for bass, it's a very small market. Anyway, I don't know if I'm going to bring that one back or not. You got to sell a lot of amps for it to be worth it. And I worked with Line 6, you know, when they bought Ampeg, and helped them get that back running. It's just not a big business for tube bass amps, unfortunately. Yeah, solid state bass amps sound great. So it's a tough market. The few people that really understand the nuance and the subtlety of a tube bass amp get it. But there's not many of those guys around. So, anyway, I do got to run. My eye's really wearing out. You can probably see it starting to turn red. Yeah, Kim, reach out to me on Facebook. I'll tell you whatever you need to know. Or I'll be here next week. We can talk about it. Okay, Anya. All right, great. There's a nice music in studio. Tom Fox says, feel better, Dan. I do. I'm working on it, man. You can kind of see my eyes starting to get fatigued here, so I'm going to go ahead and close it and head out. But nice to see you guys after 8 weeks. I'm sorry that I've been gone. I'm going to sort out the sound. Haas, I'm glad you're here, buddy. It's been a long time. We need to catch up. Speaking of great northern accents right there. So anyway, I do got to run. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And I'll get the guitar sound sorted out. I don't know what the hell's happening. So anyway, see you, brothers and sisters. Take care. Love you. Bye.